Good evening and welcome to the BVA Slamdown. I'm your host, Co Slice. First off, I'd like to take this time to apologize for the absence that we've had for the first few weeks. We faced some budget issues and we weren't able to film the production of the show. Luckily, we've teamed up with Senior Productions and they're going to be taking on all aspects of the show from now on, and this will become a weekly show. And the weekly matchup previews have gone up. If you haven't seen them, you can head over to our Instagram page where they've been put and you can watch them. We have a very special show lined up for you tonight, and I hope you guys enjoy it. As always, I'm very thankful for all your support, and I hope you enjoy the show tonight. And we'll be right back after this message from our sponsor. Yeah, hello and welcome back to the BVA Slamdown. I'm your host, Go Slice, and tonight we have a special guest joining us for the show. Please welcome Mr. Walid Abu Nasif, General Manager of the A4D Association. Mr. Abu Nasif, welcome. Good to have you here tonight.
Oh, thank you very much, Co Slice. It's a great honor, After a long week of travel, it's good to finally relax and be on and co-host a great show and share my ideas. I'm very proud to be here and I look forward to giving my insight.
It's our pleasure to have you here tonight.
No problem.
So it's been a very crazy start to the season this year. You can tell from the standings, every team is close. There's only one game apart between the top and people trying to make the playoffs. What do you think is going to go on for the rest of the season?
I agree. It's been a very competitive year. We got a lot of teams ranked one game from each other. And I look forward for a very competitive season, and we have a lot of tough teams, a lot of good teams, and some people from last year who made some great changes, some great trades, and it should be a very competitive year.
Yeah, I agree with you. Speaking of teams from last year making changes and all that, we've recently taken a poll with our audience to check what they think of what's going on in the league. For instance, we checked who they thought was the most improved franchise, and with 70% of the votes, we got back that it was RJ2K Ram Jones with the most improved franchise, given his history of finishing last place. And this year he put together a good team in the draft, and he's currently in third place.
The ex-commissioner, indeed, yes. I must agree with you. I would be lying to you if I said RJ2K isn't one of the most improved teams. They put together a great wide receiver core, two good running backs, and led by Big Ben Roethlisberger. He is one of the top performers this year, but I don't expect him to be the front runner for the championship.
Yeah, I see your point there. You're right, but yeah, he's progressing as a manager right now because he's not focusing that much as a commissioner, I believe.
Yeah, I also agree with that. He's gonna need to make some changes.
Yeah.
I don't like his tight end situation, and Big Ben Roethlisberger is prone to an injury. But besides that, Julian Edelman maybe. But besides that, David Johnson, great running back.
Great running back.
And he's showing it. He's showing his skills.
I agree. And we also took another poll for the most disappointing and most likely to finish last place. 90% of the votes showed that the Street Ballers was the team, since they don't have anything going on their team, maybe aside from Allen Robertson and Drew Brees, because they recently traded Gronkowski for some no-names.
Right. I've always said that you should wait on quarterback. And it's evident here. You can see he reached for a quarterback. He spent a costly draft pick on Drew Brees, and he has no depth. And because of that, and his lack of performance, the players he gambled on, he's facing the consequences now. And yeah, Arian Foster, Drew Brees, John Brown, Arizona, you don't know which wide receiver to start.
That's true.
Garrett Blunt. He's got a long way to go. And definitely, I agree, he's the most regressed and the most disappointing this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, we also took another poll, like to see who's most likely to win the league, and it looks like that Maniac won with like his team of running backs and Mike Evans and Derek Carr lighting it up, and his new acquisition of Rob Gronkowski, especially since he didn't pay anything for them, and now Tom Brady's back, so he might kill it.
Off on K-Slay's back is the correct name, but yes,
Yes.
he's been going off on a lot of people's back. Ezekiel Elliott is the main reason. He's carrying the load. Now, at Dallas offensive line, I can run behind that line and produce.
I agree.
And Rob Gronkowski was a good acquisition. I think he took him in the right time. Street Ballers traded him a game early. And but I don't believe he's the number one contender. I still think A4D as well as Black Mamba are the top contenders. They have the most depth, and they don't rely on a few players. Any given week, they can have explosions. Also, the Black Russian finally put together a good team, and he's in the top candidates right now.
Yeah, but I don't believe the Black Russian will be able to make the playoffs. If he does, he'll like change the history of the BVA.
He is projected to score the most points this week.
That's correct.
So that
That's
shows
correct.
you the outlook.
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Let's move on to our next segment, which is more in depth of the matchup previews this week.
Okay.
So we'll start off with RJ and Kufta King.
Okay.
So what do you think about that matchup?
I like what Rob Van Dam did
Yeah.
last week and the weeks before. He put together a few good trades, gave up his first round running back or second round running back, acquired some third string and fourth start. There's RB3s and RB4s, but they're putting up great numbers. Howard from Chicago, Matt Jones. He put together a nice team, given he lost Keenan Allen. But it's a tough matchup for him. He still lacks a lot of players and a lot of depth because of his Josh Gordon
That's true, yeah.
stupid draft pick. But I would have to go with RJ2K, given his current streak and his current team.
I agree, but I do agree that Kufta King has put a good team with his trades, and that's very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on. So Tony fucking Homo and Scoregasm.
I would have to go with Tony fucking Homo on this one.
Yeah.
I know Scoregasm has a great team and he's getting Jamal Charles back. Cam Newton's probably going to play this week, back from a concussion.
Yeah, but Jamal Charles might split the carries with Spencer Ware this week. You never know because it's his first week back.
Yeah, but I'm going to gamble on Julio Jones for another huge performance
That's
and to
true.
win the matchup
Yeah,
single-handedly.
that's true. They're playing Kansas City this week.
No, they got a tough matchup in Seattle.
Oh, yeah, that's
but
true.
I don't
That's true,
expect
that's true,
Richard
that's true.
Sherman to shadow him because he doesn't want to embarrass himself. So, Julio Jones, big match, big game. Let's go with Tony fucking Homo.
Let's go with Tony fucking Homo for this one. Okay, now Black Mamba and Russian Rusiyet Bezol.
I've always loved the Black Mamba. He's facing some struggles at running back because of injuries, but he has them right around the corner. Doug Martin's expected back any week now. But when you combine Tom Brady and Antonio Brown, Jordy Nelson, with whatever he can put up at running back, I like his odds. Jordan Reed's a great tight end. He's on concussion protocol, but we expect him to play this week, and I'm going to have to go.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Let's hope so. The next matchup is Dirty Skanks and Street Ballers. So, what do you think about that matchup?
Without looking at the matchup, I would have to go with Dirty Skank. Street Ballers is in a crisis. He's in a lot of struggles. He's my older brother, really, in reality, and I tried to give him advice, but the guy never listens, and now...
You know what the problem is? Like, he got his co-manager back this year, and I
Yeah.
thought he would improve, but he's actually regressed.
Yeah, his
so-
co-manager's still living in the Stone Age. He's drafting
Yeah.
Jacksonville Jaguars players, his favorite team.
Allen
Drew Brees.
Robinson.
He's had the same players
Yeah,
for the past 10
I
years.
agree with that.
And he blames what his losses.
And trading away Gronkowski for Travis Kelce, and who was it? I forgot.
Jarvis Landry.
Jarvis
He's a good player, but...
yeah, but like you can't trade
depend.
away, bro. He traded away Gronkowski before even Tom Brady came back.
It was bad timing. I
It
agree.
was bad timing. He should have waited at least one game to see what would have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And his running back situation is very bad.
that's true. Especially with Brady back, Blunt. is
More passing. James
gone.
White's going to be more involved in the running game and the passing game, so it's all
That's
downhill
true.
for the Street Ballers.
That's true. And moving on for the Maniac and TBMFE. That's a good matchup. The only 3-2 matchup going on this week. So one of them is going to separate from the pack and move up in the standings. What do you think?
This is
of
a
that?
tough one. I'm looking at the matchup now. I love DeMarco Murray, Jordan Matthews, TBMFE's team is one team that I really like. I don't see a kicker in the starting lineup, but I'm sure he'll fix that.
He's won the last 2 matchups without a tight end, though.
But I'm gonna have to go with that Maniac. His team's on a good streak.
It is.
Rob Gronkowski's hot. Ezekiel Elliott's the hottest running back in the game. Derek Carr is playing very well, and I'll go with that Maniac.
Yeah. Now for the matchup of the week, the highest scoring combined matchup
Oh,
projected,
yes,
the
yes.
Black Russian versus the A4Ds. Let's hear your input on that matchup.
I'm gonna be completely frank with you here, Coach Slice. Not just because you're my opponent, not just because you're one of my close friends here, but it's gonna be a close call.
I agree.
It's gonna be a close call. Both teams are projected very highly, and both teams have a lot of talent starting this week. So it depends. It depends who's gonna show up and who's not.
I agree.
It's a 50-50 for me.
Yeah, I agree. It's gonna be the best matchup of
Oh, for sure. It'll probably have the most combined total points
I agree.
this week, just like the projections. And it shows a lot. It shows a lot.
That's true. That's true. Well, that's all the time we have for our show tonight. We'd like to thank Mr. Abu Nasif for joining us. It was a
Absolutely.
pleasure.
It's a great pleasure.
We hope to have you again sometime.
Hopefully.
And we look forward for our matchup this week.
Yeah, definitely.
And for our viewers, we'll be seeing you next week, and we wish you a good night.